Wimbledon, of course, with Neil Sullivan in goal. A tower of strength here, but for how much longer? It's a back four. Kenny Cunningham at right back, another highly rated Premiership performer. Trond Andersen, who played for Norway last week against his central defensive partner today, Iceland's Herman Hreidarsson. And Alan Kimball, a fine crosser of the ball from left back. In midfield, a tight central three. Walid Badir, the Israeli international. Robbie Earle, now in his 9th season with Wimbledon. And Jason Ewell, his 23rd birthday today. With Carl Court working down the right-hand side in Egil Olsen's system. And Marcus Gale balancing off on the left. There's one main attacker, and John Hartson, of course, still out. So Wimbledon call again on Carl Lieber. For Everton, Thomas Muir plays in the Premiership for the first time this season. A back four, all centre-halves by trade. Richard Dunn operating at right back. And in the middle, it's David Weir alongside that hardy annual Richard Gough. David Unsworth reverts to left back after playing in midfield against Preston in the Cup. In midfield, Nick Barmby is suspended, so Danny Cadamartri starts a Premiership game for the first time for a year. Don Hutchison missed training last week with a touch of tonsillitis. Mark Pembridge is moved infield today, and Michael Ball pushed forward from left back. Walter Smith kept Evertonians guessing, but American Joe Maxmore does start. Francis Jeffers withdrawn from the firing line today. Kevin Campbell is here, though, and he tore Wimbledon apart in August.
Well, when I come to watch Wimbledon, Martin, I've been so used to over the years seeing Blackwell and Perry at the centre of the defence. And now we see Andersen and Hreidarsson, who are getting better and better, I think, as the season goes on, and looking more like a central defensive partnership. And I think they've got to play well today. What did they face today? Well, we know what Kevin Campbell gives them. He gives them power, he gives them strength. He really is a real threat. But Joe Maxmore, a little bit an unknown for me and most of the people watching on television. Interested to see how this duo combines together. In midfield, well, I think this is where Everton will either win or lose the game, Matt, because they have to be brave when they get possession of the ball, and particularly Pembridge and Hutchison in the central areas. If they're brave enough to pass it and keep it, then they could dictate the game. If they allow the ball just to be played from back to front or don't dominate possession long enough, then they're not going to enjoy this afternoon. Wide areas, Cadamartri and Ball do pose a threat. Both can cross the ball. It's going to be interesting how much ball they get. Court and Gale we have there in right and left. Yes, they will try and tuck back into that area, but they will fundamentally try to get forward and support the lone striker in Carl Lieber. And Walter Smith has picked a back four of 6-foot-plus defenders. There's absolutely no doubt. He knows what he faces. It's delivery from left to right, right to left, straight down the middle if they want. And I'm sure at some time this week, Unsworth, Gough, Weir and Dunn have all worked a training session or two and heading the ball away across that 18-yard box. How well they defend that might well determine how well Everton do today.
Well, Wimbledon kept the side that beat Newcastle, and they've kept the same substitutes as well. They're still missing several senior players, including Ben Thatcher, who is both injured and suspended. Everton's back up on the bench, while John Collins on his way back after a shin injury, not regarded as being totally match sharp to start the game. And Francis Jeffers is also amongst the substitutes. Well, it may not be the West End, but Bill Kenwright hoping for a successful show from Everton today. There's no doubt that the move behind the scenes have stabilised things for the Evertonians. 2 points between the two sides in Everton's favour. It was 4-0 to Everton against Wimbledon in August. That match came at a time when Wimbledon were still failing in their comprehension of the new methods. Egil had only just landed at the club. Well, different preparations for the two teams today. FA Cup exertions for Everton last weekend, but also the excitement of progressing to the quarter-finals, and another home draw as well against Aston Villa, a match that we'll be able to bring you live on Sky Sports. As for Wimbledon, well, they took advantage of a weekend off to head for warmer climes. 7 days in Gran Canaria, plenty of training. some golf, and given the number of changes at the club in the past few months, some getting to know each other better as well. But it's the not-so-crazy gang, Andy. No hotels being wrecked, no whiff of scandal.
The game's gone, Martin, the game's gone.
Chelsea away and Manchester United at home, the next two matches for Wimbledon. So they will be especially keen to come up with a win today. But Everton, well, they won here last season, and as I say, they gave the Dons a real drubbing at Goodison in August. We shall see. It's live, and it's right after this break.
It's a Super Sunday from Selhurst Park. Wimbledon against Everton. Something new on offer for Sky Digital viewers again this afternoon. Another angle on our interactive coverage on Sky Sports Extra. We've called it Player Cam, Channel 404. Don't forget to press the red button on the remote to access our interactive technology, and we'll be following various different players during the game, starting there with Carl Court. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Wimbledon have become tough to better here at home. They're unbeaten in their last 12 matches at Selhurst Park. That run goes all the way back to August. And they're taking on one of the FA Cup quarter-finalists who have found wins harder to come by in the Premiership. Just 2 in the last 14 league games for Walter Smith's side. It's a blustery afternoon. In truth, the weather has worsened considerably in the last couple of hours. Wimbledon, as you will have worked out, in a change strip of all yellow. Here's Herman Hreidersen, who's never been on the losing side for Wimbledon in a game played here. He's made a big difference after some early season defensive problems. But Danny Cadamartri has an opportunity to impress today. Coming from the right of midfield, in goes Joe Max Moore, still battling for it. Kevin Campbell's in there, comes to Pembridge. A fine block by the Wimbledon skipper.
Well, you so often see Robbie Earle at the other end, Martin, stealing vital goals, but this is the other part of a midfield player's ability to get back in. Joe Max Moore does well just to keep the ball in and around the box. What a great block that was from Robbie Earle.
Pembridge with the corner. Oh! Is that in? We look across at the assistant on the far side who kept his flag down, and Neil Sullivan breathes again. Kerry Richards didn't see anything to flag for. The ball didn't cross the line in his mind. Andy? Yeah,
he's right on the flag. You see him, he steps away just for about a yard, but as it drops, well, his body's over it from the angle we're at there. But you can see Joe Max Moore's not 100% confident, Martin, and he turns round, he's anxious. Oh goodness, it's a close call. Benefit the doubt to the goalkeeper. I think he got it right.
Cunningham. Dale waiting on the edge of the area, hoping that Ewell would tee it up for him after a good flick from Carl Lieburn.
You mentioned the blustering conditions. I think it's even more than that, Martin. I talked about it at Chelsea last week at Stamford Bridge, the way that wind affects the conditions, and I certainly think they will today.
Did that affect Sullivan then?
Well, the ball was driven, but I do think it might have been a case of the ball certainly moved across the goalkeeper, but oh, look at that. That's a close call. I think he might have got it right. Might have got it just right, the linesman.
Here's David Weir. Plenty of height at the back for Everton. These 4 central defenders spread across the line with Dunn wide right, Unsworth wide left. David Unsworth having a tremendous season, not just defensively. Of course, he's the second highest scorer with 8 goals. Terrific free kick against Preston, vital goal last weekend. Unsworth 6 successful penalties and 1 when he scored from the rebound off the goalkeeper, and that goalkeeper was Neil Sullivan.
This is where Everton have got to be brave. You play Wimbledon, Mark, you have to try and control possession of the ball.
Hutchison.
Oh, there's a little dig there. He's had a right go, Hutchison. Badia.
And Marshall goes on, Badir protesting. There's always been an edge to Don Hutchison's play.
Well, he just knocked the ball and they seemed to come together just here. Whether he took exception to that, but as they go, stamp. Just checked him a little.
More. Goff just, flipping it forward towards Kevin Campbell. Certainly Wimbledon have talked a lot about how they might deal with Campbell today. They've got power and pace in their own ranks, of course. Marcus Gale, his last game before heading off to join the Reggae Boys. Jamaica in a tournament taking place in the United States. I think he'll only miss one match. Leeburn, and now Ewell, inviting Cunningham to come forward. Caught. Good challenge on him by Unsworth. And Campbell trying to dart in beyond Trond Anderson. Michael Ball got it forward well into space behind the Wimbledon central defenders. Ball going in again. He's returning to the Premiership starting role after a long absence today. First time since November, although he did begin the Preston match in the FA Cup last weekend. Ewell. Well defended, David Weir.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They put runners in time and time again, whether it be Ewell, whether it be Robbie Earl. This time it's Ewell. The touch was beautiful, but that's really good defending from David Weir. Getting his body between ball and man. Knocking it to safety.
To a man, the Wimbledon players arriving today, appreciating the significance of the results yesterday, and how even more important it is for them to be on the right side of the result this afternoon. And Carford alongside Egil Olsen. They've had their say, and now it's down to the performers on the stage. A ball was driven deep by Kimball, just too high for Ryderson.
A little unusual. Normally Kimball puts it right on the money.
Ball. It's quite an adventurous selection in midfield, you feel, by Walter Smith. Cadamarteri, of course, perhaps better known as a striker, although the feeling at Goodison Park is that he could carve out a career for him in this wide midfield role. Michael Ball will like to get forward down the left-hand side. Good width. Gale. Richard Dunn biting in. A graduate from the Goodison Academy. A successful youth team. Ball. Campbell, strong play from him. Now can Moore get a shot in here? Graham Barber is the referee and he shakes his head. Ryderson was the defender.
Well, it just depends on the referee's mind how far the ball gets away from Joe Max Moorman. It's a lovely little ball and a lovely run, but as he plays it over the defender, is he going to get onto the ball again? That's what the referee has to decide for me. I think if anything it's obstruction, and I think the ball's close enough to maybe have warranted a decision. Not so sure a penalty would have been there, but certainly obstruction to have gone Everton's way.
Joe Max Moore, born really unusually from an American to play this particular game. His father owned a soccer club, as they would say. This would say the Tulsa Roughnecks in the North American Soccer League. It was a well-known club back in the 70s. Here's Alan Kimball. Gale almost finding a path through then. Pressure from Leeburn. Everton cope with that well. Hutchison. Off goes Kadamatru. And did enough to make Ryderson play it out, and Everton get possession well forward.
This pitch doesn't make passing easy. We've talked about it many times. But the quality of it is very rutted, very bumpy. I was watching the players pre-match, Martin, just knocking the ball across the surface. Does jump on skip. Certainly more here than it does in any other Premiership ground, I would say.
Yes, there'll be a fair few divots to be replaced at the end of it all today. Gale. Now Cunningham. Leeburn calling for a deep cross. Comes off the arm of the ball. Seen as handball. Good hold-up play by Campbell again. Certainly an outlet so far. Danny Kadamatru for Everton. If he comes infield, well, it's harder to predict maybe. He's eager to impress. Had a spell in London on loan with Fulham. Hutchison. It's a good reach by Trond Anderson.
Already the two centre-backs have been tested. Everton have started very positively, Martin. And the front two are Campbell and Moore. They're certainly proven a handful. I think Ryderson and Anderson are going to concentrate in this game, you feel. They look pretty sharp, the front two of Everton.
It will be hard for Francis Jeffers being left out today, but no one in football doubts his talents. Just had a quiet spell since surgery earlier in the season. Goff. And if he misses one, Richard Goff, it must be windy.
Well left, Goffey.
Andy Gray meets Richard Goff again. That was a feature of the tunnel before the game started. And Scotland colleagues. Goff and company, with certainly no Carl Leeburns around. He doesn't score many goals, I'm sure you're all well aware of that. But he has other attributes, and his teammates trust him to punch his weight, so to speak, when the ball's tossed in. Ryderson. Tidied up by Unsworth. So Thomas Muir, who was injured last summer, has got fit again, but had to play second fiddle to Paul Gerrard. Third fiddle because Steve Simonson's been a substitute and Gerrard's been playing. So much so that Muir had to go elsewhere to Rangers to get some games. Gerrard is now injured. Muir played against Preston last week and he can go for Everton here. Badir. Ewell. Cunningham. Oh, just about kept that in. Cunningham looks for Leeburn. Goff looks for the flick and not only deals with that, deals with Robbie Earle as well.
Good play, good experience play. Saw the runner. Didn't go near the ball, just watched the runner, tracked him, swept it up quite well indeed.
It's nice work by Ewell, taken on by Badir. And well to get it wide to Gale. Kimball fighting for that, but Dunn got to the ball, and Kimball has stayed down, and they're a defender like Wimbledon at the moment.
That was a challenge. There was always going to be problems with the way the angles that both players were coming in at, Mark. There was always going to be a collision. Certainly neither of them gave this up. Straight in. You can see Dunn goes for the ball, but because of the angle both were arriving there, he does catch Kimball. Looks like the right knee area.
It's time to tell you about Alan Kimball. He has one job in football that he's never called upon to do. He's Wimbledon's penalty taker, and they haven't had a penalty in the Premiership for getting on for 2.5 years. And just out of interest, Andy, I had a look to see how many penalties Everton had in the league in that period. What would you think?
6.
15.
Oh, right.
So, you know, there is a school of thought that the bigger the club, the more penalties, the more crucial decisions you get.
Well, Wimbledon would argue over the last 2.5 years they've been a bigger club than Everton, no?
Yeah, yeah. But not when it comes to getting penalties. They are certainly bottom of that particular table. Neil Ardley was one of the substitutes today, scored their last penalty against Leeds United, October '97.
Well, he's limped back on. Alan Kimball will just see whether that knocking in the area, any swelling in there, Mark, that can hinder your mobility. Let's see how whether he can run it off, work it off, or whether they have to make an early substitution.
Forward by Anderson. Hutchison. Let's get through to Sullivan, to Wimbledon's relief, with Campbell in hot pursuit. That's when they do have the 3 up, and the ball is struck along then Galen. Court flanking Lieberg. Unsworth. Ball kick against Campbell.
Yeah, just the arm across, that's all.
Ewell. That's where it helps having players confident of heading the ball as the fullbacks, as Unsworth there, making sure there was no supply for Court. And Kimball's made a mistake here, and Cadamartri could be away for Everton. Trying to get players up alongside Walter Smith's team.
Only one target in there for Cadamartri, that was Kevin Campbell. He was the one he was looking for after this little gift from Kimball, a little bit sloppy with his play there. He's got a chance to deliver it, ball should and maybe could have been better.
Pembridge with the throw. Sliced away by Haridason for a corner. Quick reminder to Sky Digital viewers, if you're watching on Sky Sports Extra, player cam for the next 15 minutes. We'll be following Kevin Campbell. Past the first man from the corner, that was Cunningham. Pembridge, I think, will enjoy the chance to play infield today. His preferred position. He's been wide left most of the time since joining Everton.
Yeah, he's certainly not a wide man, I would never mark him down. He can't play there, and that's your left-footed, of course, but there's absolutely no doubt Pembridge prepares to play infield where he can distribute it both left and right.
Here he is, picking out Joe Maxmore. Pembridge. Quite so accurate that time. Ball starting to edge back a little bit as the pass was played. Campbell can't keep it in. Andy, I was up on Merseyside yesterday covering the Liverpool game. I heard about a bet called the Toffees Treble. Everton to win the FA Cup, Liverpool to finish outside the top 4, and Everton to beat Liverpool in the next Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. It was 80-1 when the bet was offered, and before Liverpool's win over Leeds, it was down to 40-1. The Toffees Treble. Certainly they've got chances in the cup, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Big game coming up. Fortnight's time.
Caught.
Well, defensively, Sorry, Mark. Defensively, Everton have been pretty comfortable as we approach 20 minutes in this game. They've won all the major headers they've had to. There's been nothing got through. Yule half chance of breaking through. That's basically been the only threat that they've had to deal with. They'll be fairly pleased with that. At the other end, those two have, as I've said, they've been lively. Although the game's settled down at a little bit of a stalemate over the last 5 minutes or so.
It's very tight on court, but the Wimbledon man got to it. Ruben couldn't keep the move going. Unsworth. Ball. They're stopping the supply through the centre from Pembridge. Campbell. Moore.
That's decent. Little link-up play again. It's what you want from your front two. You're playing them as a duo. Moore goes short, then spins and gets involved again with Campbell. That gives him a couple of yards to try and manoeuvre the shot.
Joe Max Moore did start at Bradford when Kevin Campbell was missing on paternity leave. Gale can court get in, as he so often has done for Wimbledon this season. Scored 10 goals at Selhurst Park in 14 games on this ground this season.
They just keep going, don't they, Wimbledon, Mark? They never get disappointed if nothing's dropping for them. You know, a lot of teams might get a little bit disappointed, frustrated. It never happens at Wimbledon. They just play percentages. They keep knocking on the door, just hoping that that one time it will drop for one of them.
Hutchison. A little bit of revenge maybe in the challenge from Badir, but Everton going on. Moore's header. Neither at goal or glancing into the path of Campbell.
Yeah, he's been involved. The American, no doubt, again finds himself a nice bit of space between both centre-backs. It's just a fraction too high for him. He can't quite get up and get the power and direction he needs.
He's already scored twice for the senior side, both occasions as a substitute. An important late equaliser in the Premiership against Tottenham, and another late goal last weekend against Preston to round off a fifth round success. With a muscle from Leeburn.
I'd like a little bit more angle in the Wimbledon from here. It's a little bit straight for them. They'll certainly throw players in there, toss it up, I'm sure, and look for the second ball.
Having a look at Leeburn and Gale. It's too long.
That's the trouble with that one. When it's as straight as it is, they like it with a little bit more angle. I'm surprised they actually didn't try and shift it 10 yards left or right just to open it up a bit, but you can see how straight that is. Everton got their positions pretty good, and David Weir knows they'll let it run. It's out of play.
It's been a good signing, David Weir. A year now with Everton. It's on with the job. Unsworth. Anderson. Cunningham. Cunningham backing the play up again. Good defending by Ball. It's off Goff, but Hutchison responsibly was just in behind him. Cover when it was required.
Certainly was Everton's ball. A little unlucky. Graham Barber didn't have the best view of it.
Got a bit of a smile about the referee. He was selected by UEFA last week on what looked like a shortlist for candidates to officiate in the Euro 2000 finals. Just past the halfway mark in the first half. The real incident of note when Neil Sullivan fumbled the ball very close to being over his own line. Earl getting the better of Moore. Lieber. Just a suspicion of a push on David Weir by Gale, but the referee says it's a throw to Wimbledon. They're looking questioningly at Graham Barber. Gale will reach this. And towards Lieber. But Goff concerned about a bit of laxity in front of him.
I thought he may have sat this up. The ball goes to the byline. I thought Gale might have lifted it over the near post area. Robbie Earl again, and Ivan right on cue, middle of goal.
Jimble's corner. Goff got a foot to it. Ewell trying to play it into the crowd and get it back. It's a situation where you might have expected him to shoot. Gale. Earl trying to get there. Pembridge beat him to it. Kadamatri to try and counter-attack here. Again, more available for Everton. It's a bit of a heavy touch by Dunn. Now Ewell to get a foot in. Brave header by Hreiderson. Well, it's this sort of contest that we expected. Certainly a physical side to it. Nothing to really upset the referee.
Oh, it ain't pretty at times, but this is what the Premiership is all about. We get all types of football. Days like this. Sometimes team styles. Adapting, it's called.
Court defending. Lieber waiting for some support. Gets it from Cunningham. Everton are regrouping. Wimbledon really didn't shift the ball quickly enough from Lieber. Here's Moore. Frank's gone up against Kevin Campbell. No goal.
No, just drifted in too early. We're not exactly in line, but Kevin doesn't look too disappointed. He's only fractionally ahead of play. He didn't really need to be. But I have to say, Kenny Cunningham's defending was great, Martin. He looked right along the line. He didn't try and defend. He stood his ground and let Campbell drift offside. But it's no surprise those two have linked again.
Pembridge, a sure touch to Unsworth. Ball ahead of him, working Cunningham back, so there's more space for Unsworth to go into. Cross here towards Campbell. It's tempted Sullivan off his line. He's got a free kick, I think, but it's a decent ball.
He didn't argue with the offside, but you can see how disappointed he is with this decision. He feels it's a pretty genuine challenge. I think he's right. I think he goes up for the ball. There's not a lot of contact there.
Here's Carl Court. Been a shortage of shots so far from Wimbledon.
Well, he goes up, you can see the ball, he goes up early, look at the player. Well, maybe the right arm catches him in the back of the neck. A mere brush.
I know that's legal because I saw a goal in a cup final once for Everton.
Who scored that?
I wonder.
Never touched him, ref.
It's in the record books, Andy. And you must be very proud of it. Hutchison. Got to mind his P's and Q's today. He's got 9 yellow cards to his name, 1 today, and he'd miss that FA Cup quarter-final.
We surely must know that. I mean, he's already got involved a couple of times, Don, and that's such is his nature. And that's such is his influence. I don't think Walter Smith would want to be without him. Such an important cup tie.
love to do is get him tied up in a new contract. It's not a speculation. Hutchison has been saying he wants to stay with Everton. Of course, these days the price has to be right. That's a nifty play by Dunn, tight to the touchline. Maybe there will be some new money available for Walter Smith. Do some deals, get some fresh faces in. He's making some space in his squad with letting players go. Terry Phelan, who played for Wimbledon when they won the Cup, the latest to leave Goodison Park this week.
This is where Everton tuck the four. Defenders right in tight. This is where they have to, where they have for most of it, won most of the balls that have come up. And that's why Thomas Meyer, I don't think, is a save to make in, what, half an hour of this match.
Gale. Good work by Marcus Gale. He's passed Weir as well. Deflected out by Ball, and it's gone to a player in yellow, but Hutchison was a bit tentative, unusual for him. Even the second time he kept it short and Everton have lost it again. And Cunningham, who's never scored for Wimbledon, hooks for the cross. It'll reach Gale. That was a wasted opportunity to keep Everton in some fear of going one goal behind here at Selhurst Park.
Don Hutchison will be pleased nothing happened there. You were right, not once but twice did he. He was sloppy, unusually so, on the edge of his own box. Well, that must have been close again. I'd say that ball travelled quite a distance. You watch Campbell start his run and the ball's played. I don't think he's offside there, Martin. I think they get lucky there. Wimbledon, the flag goes up late.
Player cam for Sky Digital viewers is switching now from Kevin Campbell to Robbie Earle. Ball. This is Unsworth steaming forward initially in support of ball. It's a good cross. Cadamarteri came in unmarked and onside
and should score. Simple as that. This is a wonderful ball from left to right from David Unsworth, measured, deliberate, and when you're 7 yards out you don't have to jump but put your head on it and direct it. That's not a great header from Danny Cadamarteri. He should have been making Sullivan's job, well, an unenviable one. He should have been picking the ball out the net. It's as simple as that. Beautifully measured. That's a great opportunity. He knows it.
Smith steered Everton to victory here at Wimbledon last season, and Cadamarteri scored in that game. Ball.
Well, Everton are worth a goal lead, Martin, I have to say. I think they played exceptionally well for over half an hour in this game. Defended right, back four have been excellent, and midfield they've done what they had to do, keep the ball past it. The front two have been a threat.
It's one thing Cadamarteri, as a striker by instinct, gives you coming from the right-hand side. He knows where to run in. He got into a great position. And he made a really sensational start to his Everton senior career. It was understandably marked time. Hutchison, that's a good contest, isn't it? Ewell. Gale. Good to midfield pressure by Walter Smith's side. Pembridge having earned the ball. Can they pass it well? Campbell, good movement from him, but he needs some help from deeper. Wasn't the best ball from the striker. And Barber. Is he going to book Joe Max Moore for the tackle?
I think he's booking it for 2, Martin. You remember about 5 minutes ago he made a tackle down below us from behind and free kick was given. I don't think it's for just this tackle. There's nothing sinister in it. He's fractionally late, no doubt about that. I think it was a combination of both tackles.
On by Gale. Caught. He's got such elasticity of movement. He hasn't quite got the range with his shooting so far today. He's had one with the left, one with the right. Not, as Andy said, given Thomas Muir any work to do.
Yeah, but this is what Everton have done well. Although he skips past Richard Goff here, look how tight and how close David Unsworth is at fullback. Right tucked in, right over. And that's what they've done ever so well. The back four have been in good contact with each other the whole of the first half.
No surprise to Wimbledon that this 4 are out along the back line for Everton. They expected it, even though Unsworth was a midfield man last week. What they have been working on in training is the crossing from Kimball and Cunningham, but they've hardly had an opportunity to get forward, and that's partly down to what we were talking about earlier, Cadamarteri and Ball keeping them occupied in other parts of the pitch. And Unsworth prepared to go forward again. Campbell to use his strength here. Good block by Trond Anderson.
Well, some tackles are daft tackles. The skill from Campbell's there to admire. But Cadamarteri really should have just let the ball drift out. They were getting the throw in.
Hutchison. Pembridge. There's Ball. Played a lot last season. Hasn't played so much this season. Hutchison. Campbell's having to come back at the risk of being offside. There's Cadamarteri again.
Had to be a free kick. Yo just hung the leg out.
Only Richard Goff of the 4 big men at the back has gone forward. Unsworth half and half, really. Hutchison takes it. Reburn diverts it away from Goff. Caught. Weir had stayed back, just that sort of eventuality. Cunningham. Now caught. He is gifted with the ball at his feet. Unsworth turning quickly, but not clearing far enough for Everton. Cunningham's cross. Maybe Lieben caught in 2 minds.
I think he just tried to help it on in the end and really did nothing with it at all. I suppose it better go down as Thomas Meyer's first save. He did have to deal with it.
Right just across the line. Hutchison. Campbell. Anderson's complaining, but that's the hurly-burly of the Premiership, I think. Campbell, plenty of strength to apply.
Oh, plenty of power, you know what you get with Kevin Campbell. He's strong, he's powerful, he's playing with confidence. I said the 2 centre-backs are going to have to concentrate for 90 minutes. We've seen why.
Weir in the thick of that. Flag has gone up.
Well, Wimbledon, when you face corners, man, I think they're one of the few teams who don't put anyone on the goalposts, I think. If I remember rightly. And then what they do is clear the 6-yard box, so that when that header comes in, you see Campbell's in an offside position.
Good decision. So what does the future hold for Neil Sullivan? Wimbledon would love to persuade him to stay. Just get the impression he believes he's done his time here.
Well, he's 29, Martin, isn't he? He's an international now. He may feel himself that, yeah, I've served my time. I'm giving them everything I can. Maybe it's a time for a bigger club.
Easy for Hutchison. Certainly Campbell gives him a direct outlet. He's making up the ground here on Anderson. More bumping and boring. I feel that physically Kevin Campbell's getting the edge over the Norwegian. Gale. Caught. Well, where you'd expect to find him again. Muir's rather patted it away. Cunningham to put it back towards Robbie Earl. It didn't quite drop for Lieberg.
Goff just did enough to put Earl off, but that's the first real threat, because Court wins a big header early on at the back post. It's the first header that Everton haven't won, and there's all sorts of problems. David Weir did ever so well to get his tackle in first, but when he just nick it back from Cunningham, you watch Richard Goff just do enough. He wasn't going to win the ball, he just wanted to put Earl off.
Ball. Sort of lapse in concentration that you tend to get towards the end of a half. Our front duo there, who both might have been caught offside. There's been promise in the pairing of Joe Maxmore and Kevin Campbell. Walter Smith hasn't denied himself totally the option of Francis Jeffers, who's here and on the bench. It's a great win by Goff. It means so much to his teammates. He's a bit slow to pick himself up that time.
There was a bit of contact to win the ball as well. Clash of heads.
Just wondered about him in the FA Cup, Richard Goff, Andy. He played in a final in 1987.
The Spurs was that one.
Yeah, it was. Lost to Coventry.
Well, this is a one. You see, look at eyes on the ball. Wins the head. There you see, little clash with Lieberg.
He didn't play in the FA Cup again until they met Birmingham City. Missed the Exeter games in the third round. And of course was this season. Might be some sort of record. Earl. Being very eager at times, Everton. Cadamartri. Moore. Pembridge. Still Pembridge. And they wanted to pass. It never really looked as though he was shaping for a shot.
That was a chance. It was a lovely break, and they had men forward, committed in numbers. Everton did. 4 right along the edge of the 18-yard box for Pembridge.
Cadamartri.
Oh, referee.
Wait.
Certainly didn't do Everton any favours, the whistle.
Yes, a blow to Everton in more ways than one. Hutchison. Now done. Hutchison reading the direction of Anderson's header. Ryderson. Another indication of the steel that he's brought to Wimbledon's back line. Ewell. Give and go with Robbie Earl. It was a pass that Ewell dug out quite well. Marcus Gale disappointed with his lack of touch, although it was tight on the touchline. Football tonight comes from north of the border. Hibs against Rangers, Sky Sports 3. A special programme tomorrow, a review of the Premiership season so far. Sky Sports 1 at 8 o'clock. Does that involve you, Mr. Gray?
It certainly does. Myself and Mr. Keys.
I shall be watching,
Thank
and
you,
many
sir.
others as well. Are you interactive?
I certainly am. I've been interactive a lot longer than you have, young man.
Earl. Away by Weir. Cadamartri. Got into some promising positions in this first half. Can they go in with some reward for that? Running out of time before the break.
Well, that would be the thing for me that would disappoint Walter Smith. He's watched his team play really well, defend excellently, and Pembridge and then the skipper Hutchison, they've had two excellent players in midfield that have controlled the game, and they've had a threat up front, but they've got nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. You just know at some time in this match you feel that Wimbledon have got to have a spell in it, a spell of pressure, a few chances on goal, and Everton might pay for not making the most when they were in the ascendancy.
Of course, Walter Smith has seen his side unbeaten at home in the Premiership. That's something they share with Manchester United. I'm afraid the away records of the two clubs don't bear too close inspection in comparison. Everton have certainly shown here that they're capable of travelling back to Merseyside tonight with some reward for their efforts. Campbell showing no lingering effects of that bang and the tackle with Dunn earlier on. Cadamartri moves away at pace again. It's not an easy pitch on which to dribble the ball for too long. Goff. Now Unsworth. It is, as we pointed out earlier, a game which will have very much appreciated rewards for a winner today. And the tightness at the bottom of the table. It's a bad game to lose. Hutchison. Campbell. Flag has gone up again.
And they do hold a good line, Wimbledon. You don't half ride their luck at times. It's a dangerous, dangerous game. They almost squeezed through.
That's the one extra minute before half-time. Pembridge. Unsworth on the move again. One last Everton attack before the interval. Goff. Pembridge. Hutchison. Rayburn trying to deny him. Looked more space than Wimbledon would have wanted him to have. Unsworth. It's over more, it won't reach Campbell. Pembridge. Maybe appreciating that Everton are running out of time before half-time. Both Walter Smith's Everton and Egil Olsen's Wimbledon have been amongst the draws this season in the Premiership.
Just a bit.
They are the top two in that respect, so we shouldn't be so surprised. We're approaching half-time with the two teams level.
I would rather see 4-4 though.
But we have reached the interval at Selhurst Park, with Neil Sullivan having an early scare, but it is Wimbledon 0, Everton 0. Egil Olsen will tell you that Wimbledon will be stronger in a month or so's time, hoping to get John Hartson back, one or two others out. Michael Hughes has had a knee operation, Andy Roberts as well, and Ben Thatcher, who would not have played in this game anyway because of that incident involving Nicky Summerby in the win over Sunderland. Picked up an FA charge and a 2-game suspension. He's also injured. Everton with more to be pleased about, one would have thought, in the first 45 minutes. An energetic return to the Premiership starting lineup for Danny Cadamartri. But not the end product either from him or from his colleagues. You get Walter Smith smiling. Responsible work by Campbell then. It was he took some of the blame off Cadamartri by just giving him a little a consolation wave. As if to say, yeah, it was my fault, I should have maybe anticipated a bit better. It's a very mature man, Kevin Campbell, now. He's 30 years old on Friday. Self-assured and playing very well for Everton since he was rescued from Turkish football. Caught on the wind. Well, not giving it up as Pembridge thought he'd got territorial rights then. Weir had a martyr. Now Pembridge. And Everton conspicuous in the number of players they've got forward.
Now that little thing, that little piece of play when the ball's been cleared, tap two up for Wimbledon. Either Hutchison or Pembridge just picked a loose ball up. They've just controlled the game. Certainly did in the first half. I thought that Hutchison and Pembridge in particular just picked their way around and played around Wimbledon's midfield trio. Never really got to grips with them. Ewell, Earl and Badia.
Headed away by Marcus Gale. Unsworth certainly on a hot streak when it comes to goal scoring.
Well, that was worth hitting. I think the wind, if anything, must be favouring Everton, Mark. And as this drops to David Unsworth, it's certainly worth one touch and hit. There to be hit, just didn't control it well enough.
The player cam now for Sky Digital viewers for the first 15 minutes or so of the second half is to focus on Richard Gough.
Hope we can get some aerial shots in that player cam. Might see a few headers in that.
There's a coaching video from it. Caught. Cunningham on the gallop. Mura. Oh, it came across from Ewell, the goalkeeper. Was a little surprised that Wimbledon had got a player coming in round the back.
I think the wind again, though, man. I think he thought it was going out when it left his foot, but it just curled back in. A little bit of bend on the ball, a little bit of wind help. What great defending by Gough, absolutely magnificent.
Not done by Court. Ewell. No real width. A little give and go with Lieber. Here's Court. Well, it was always, as you could see from this angle, trying to pass wide of the near post.
Yeah, but already in 3.5 minutes we've seen more from Wimbledon as an attacking force than we saw in the whole of the first half. But for Richard Gough, they might well have taken an early lead in this match. Would have been second best for most of it. It's a little bit too high, too deep. It never looked like going out, but what a great piece of defending this is. Look at Gough, he suddenly sees there might be a problem, and he gets himself in between court and the ball.
Moore. Trying to get round the outside of Cunningham. That's not an easy thing to do. Cunningham very quick on the turn and fleet of foot. Lee Burns' header was a useful one. And it dropped behind David Weir, but Gale couldn't quite take it on.
You mentioned the fact, Mark, that both full-backs at Wimbledon, they do place an awful lot of emphasis on them getting crosses in. I think Kenny Cunningham has tried and he's got good possession. But I have to say that Alan Kimball's been so concerned with the threat of Cadamatri. He's hardly got himself into an advanced position in the whole of the match. You just feel that Wimbledon's tempo's got to pick up. Even when they don't have the ball, you might find that they're chasing and harrying and putting Everton under a bit more pressure than they did first half. The tempo of the game really wasn't at a height that you normally associate with Wimbledon.
Gale. Forward quickly by Weir. Decision has to be made. When that ball is played, it travelled a bit of a distance from David Weir to where Campbell was adjudged to be offside.
And the poor linesman's got every Everton fan right behind him in this near side. Every decision he makes against Everton, they'll know all about it.
Here's Mike Cairns. Ben was concerned maybe about being offside. Goff's pass, and a run away from Campbell. Gale, Dunn did well. Earl. Marshall with youth on his side. Earl approaching 350 games now for Wimbledon. And a wonderful servant he has been. Vidison. Pembridge trying to take it out at pace, but he ran into Jason Ewell. Leeburn caught, trying to place the ball into a decent area then, didn't come off for Wimbledon. Out come Everton with Hutchison and Cadamartri. Kendall has to backpedal again. Sullivan beaten to it by Kevin Campbell. Everton have some reward for the purpose in their play here at Selhurst Park.
I think the weather plays a part, Mark. I don't think this is a great ball in. He kind of scuffs it, and you watch it hold up in the wind. The goalkeeper thinks it's coming all the way through. He suddenly realises it's dying in front of him. And Campbell just needs the merest of touches on this. And that's all he gets, it just helps the ball on. The goalkeeper's committed himself. You watch it drop, look at the ball drop in front of the goalkeeper. Touch is all that's needed. Everton have a very deserved lead.
And Bill Kenwright, the true blue, now at the top of the club, joining in the applause for the opening goal at Selhurst Park. And it's come from Everton. The suggestion has been that it would for much of the first half. And the man who is playing today for the first time is a 30-year-old. Shows that you don't lose the touch when you pass that particular milestone in life. Ewell. Wonder how Egil Olsen might think about changing this, Andy. Against Sunderland, he played Marcus Gale through the middle. That might be a switch that could happen. On goes Cadamartri.
Well, you do think he has to change it. I think Leeburn's, he's tried and worked, but he has been relatively ineffective through the middle. We've got Court who can do it, Gale that can do it. If you look at, we've got Ardley, who's a right-sided player. They could easily shift, as you say, Gale, or even Court in from that right-hand side and put Ardley out there.
But here's Leeburn. This will play Ardley on the left. We've seen him do that before.
They've been so ineffective left side because, as we talked about, just practically goal. Cadamartri just going at Kimball time and time again, and he really hasn't got forward the full-back at all in the match.
Gale. Cunningham. Cross goes Goff. He's missed so little. Leeburn. There's real composure from Don Hutchison with the turn, the precision in the pass.
Good feet, son. Yeah, that was lovely. Difficult ball. Had to cope with the physical presence first, and then he had the quick feet to keep control of it. It was lovely play. They earned the free kick there.
Kevin Campbell had some good days on this ground against Wimbledon in his time with Arsenal. And here's the difference between the two sides now. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Everton have made the breakthrough. Padilla. again doing well. Hutchison. Cadamartri. Dunn's gone ahead of him this time. Away, ran into Cadamartri's space. Cadamartri's cross. More coming in with great determination. As with most American athletes, he's got a real gung-ho attitude.
Well, he attacked the ball. Kenny Cunningham gets caught standing, basically doesn't go and attack it at his highest point. Moore did.
Cunningham. Caught. Carl caught very well, Everton. But this is Leeburn. For a change over here with Kimball. Wimbledon have worked.
Now look at Kimball now, that's been his worry, Martin. And he's unlucky, is that Cadamartri just doesn't track him all the way, and now Kimball's got to track all the way back.
Good pressure by Ewell, forced the mistake from Danny Cadamartri.
Well, the change from Wimbledon's got to come sooner rather than later, you feel. Almost an hour gone in this match, and well, apart from a little flurry of a couple of minutes at the beginning of the second half, it's been all Everton.
Anderson across. Court keeping it in. Cambridge tight on Earl. And well in that department, Everton. Unsworth. It's been a good, solid professional performance from Walter Smith's side so far. But their away record will give you total confidence in them sustaining it. Gale's given it away for Wimbledon. They're the ones with the greater anxiety at the moment.
Well, apart from that win at Anfield, Martin, that everyone no doubt talks about, being an Everton supporter. They've only beaten Sheffield Wednesday and Watford, the bottom two in the away matches this season.
Cadamartri is certainly in the mood. And Kimball left cursing and chasing again. Moore and Campbell in the centre. Hutchison. Dunn. Headed out by Kenny Cunningham. Nicely guided down by Leeburn, taken on by Gale. He could switch it to the right if he had the sort of picture of the pitch that we had from up here. It was much easier to spot that Kenny Cunningham was in space. It is at grass level. Anderson. Continue to pass it in confident manner. Everton on a difficult surface against a type of opposition that tries to get in and around you. It's been a pretty happy hour for them here at Selhurst Park. Campbell. Cadamartri.
Oh, go at him. I mean, you're having a great day and 1v1. Maybe he's just a bit tired, having a breather after that run. But I would have been screaming at Cadamartri if you gave him the ball. Go at Kimball again. But he turned and just played it in. But he did make a wonderful 70-yard run only moments earlier.
Gale. Leeburn's header. Gale again. Cambridge has done well, and Campbell can keep Everton with forward momentum here with help from Joe Max Moore. Cadamartri. Cross towards Campbell. 2-0, same combination. And Wimbledon have no answer to Danny Cadamartri on the right and Kevin Campbell in the air.
Simplicity itself. Kimball is so unsure, Martin, that you look how far away he is. Look at him. Look how far he stands off Cadamartri. You can't allow people a chance to cross like that. You've got to close tighter to him, but he's in such a torrid time. Oh, what a lovely ball in, but look at that, plumb in the middle of goal, totally unmarked. When you're playing with this confidence and you've already scored, well, the heading in the end's a very good one from Kevin Campbell. Keeper's no chance.
The Campbell-Kadamatri combination striking twice in 8 minutes. And it's very much going Everton's way here in South London. Goff having it run, moving into midfield.
Get back, son, you'll be shouting.
Ryderson.
Well, I have to say, Mark, as you said, I was talking to Walter Smith in the tunnel for quite some time pre-match, and asking about his side, how he felt they were playing, what they were like. He said, in all honesty, Andy, when they're at their best, they really do excite me, and I try and tell them that before we start every game. Go out and excite me, because I know you can do it. And I think we've seen a little glimpse of that. This team have played very well for an hour in this match so far. But he did warn me, he says, but the one thing that I do know is just as quickly as they can be playing so well, they can go the other way. He won't want that happening in the last half hour.
Incidentally, for Sky Digital viewers, the switch on the player cam now to Wimbledon's Jason Ewell. Wimbledon need him and others to influence the proceedings here. Hutchison, Campbell, Moore's unmarked. Here's Joe Max. Wimbledon are being ripped apart here as they were at Goodison Park when Kevin Campbell played such a big part. Joe Max Moore, a recent recruit, but it's his third goal already.
What a ball from the skipper. What a ball that is from Hutchison. He had vision, awareness, perfectly weighted ball from Hutchison, perfectly weighted ball from Campbell. The rest is simple for Joe Max Moore. Wonderful goal. And you're right, Martin, Wimbledon are being ripped apart.
Well, the signs were there in the first half. Maybe not that we'd get a 3-goal margin, but that Everton were the better team in a goalless first half, and they have really shown that now on the scoreline. 2 scored by Campbell, a big part for him in the third. And the United States international, Joe Max Moore, settling to life in the Premiership with great alacrity.
What does that mean?
He's doing well, the boy.
All right, well, why didn't you say that? Well, the substitutions, I feel, are about to arrive. It's a little late, you feel. Hardly certainly one of them.
Martin Andresen, another who's been away on international duty with Norway. He was in the squad but didn't get a game in this tournament that's being played at La Manga. Liebern, no real surprise that they would make a change. It's been hard going for him against Weir and Goff. So it's Robbie Earle who's being replaced to get Neil Ardley on. Ardley's been pretty much out of favour since Egil Olsen came to the club, but he's dug in there, done his work, and they're short of numbers really. So he's had some senior appearances recently, scored a goal in the Premiership against West Ham over the holiday period. But there's a big hole for Wimbledon to try and dig themselves out of here. And it's Olays from the travelling band of Evertonians.
It's not a time for showboat, Mark. No, it's a time for winning the match. Giving themselves a wonderful position to do it from.
Ball. Unsworth. Well, some teams reaching the FA Cup quarter-final might start to get a little bit distracted, even though that's a couple of weeks away. Everton in no position in the league table to let their minds wander, and they have been truly focused here.
Now just looking at Wimbledon, it looks like Andressen's going to play right side, Ardley left, and Gale and Court going to play as a front two. Now they need a goal from one of those two to get them back into this game, give them some semblance of a chance. I'm certainly not going to risk saying it's all over, Mr. Tyler, after what happened at Pride Park yesterday in stoppage time.
He's been in the coaching game a long time. He knows the percentages, and they're very much against his team here. Madison. Out come Everton again. In fact, the percentages are on. One would think Everton scoring more. Campbell. They've got a bit between their teeth. More. Done!
Lovely play again. That's a little example of a team high in confidence. When your right back joins in a move like this, and he's the one appearing at the edge of the box. Pembridge trying to get past Campbell. It's a one-touch set. It's there to be hit. Not difficult. You'll be disappointed, Gunn, but he hasn't done better with that.
Still looking for his first senior goal. Caught. Great work from Ardley. He was trying to get a bit of whip on that and bend it inside the far post.
It's been a pretty good weekend for Premiership in regard goals. I think we're at 36 now. 37's the top we've had this season. One more to equal that.
One more for a hat-trick. Stereo there. Before Kevin Campbell, he's got hat-tricks in the Premiership for Everton, for Arsenal and for Nottingham Forest. Pembridge. Campbell. Cadamarteri. Confidence oozing from every pore for Everton. Unsworth. Campbell. Here's Ardley. Now Court. John Anderson's made a run into the penalty area as well. That's a throw. It rather sums up Wimbledon's afternoon. They've never got going.
No, they haven't. This has been a pretty poor performance. I've seen Wimbledon many, many times over the years, but taking nothing away from Everton. But even the basics haven't been there from this team.
Almost from the moment Neil Sullivan, who's such a pillar of reliability, fumbled that Mark Pembridge corner. Cadamarteri's only playing because Nick Barmby is suspended.
You wonder when you see him play like this, Martin, why on earth he's been loaned out to a team in the First Division,
where he didn't really distinguish himself. I think he's an instinctive player, and of course you get highs and lows with them. But what he has, he's got that wonderful quality that you certainly need in the Premiership. He's got pace, and he's frightened poor Alan Kimball today. And in doing so, has also stopped Wimbledon getting a weapon going in an attacking sense. Kimball's left foot, the wand they call it here, has been far from magic today. again to defend on the edge of his own area, simply by the positioning of Cadamartri. And the chance that Walter Smith took in picking this team, he said at the start it was a progressive look to the midfield, and it's producing a very positive result. Feeling if they were 3-0 down, Walter would still look the same.
Yeah.
They're looking here to try and fashion a fourth goal of this second half. Ball, Campbell, too far ahead of Pembridge. Hardly. It's going to run away from court. Still needed claiming by Mura.
Yeah, the bend on the ball was always giving the goalkeeper a chance. He was turning towards him rather than away from him. That's when Ardley plays left side. That's what his crosses do tend to do with the right foot.
Court. Ardley. It's enlivened proceedings for Wimbledon. Cunningham. Not totally away the first time from Goff, but it is the second time. Just to put this into some sort of perspective, Andy, Wimbledon haven't lost at home since August. Middlesbrough and Chelsea beat them then. This is the 13th game of that particular sequence, so certainly, well, it's not unlucky because it hasn't been bad luck that's dogged them. They haven't coped with the excellence of Everton. And this man in particular. The ball. Trying one or two more difficult passes now with the 3-goal cushion. Hutchison. Just hold up for Campbell, no, not quite. That's been the suggestion, Andy, that Kevin Keegan's had a look at Kevin Campbell. He was in an England squad way back in 1992.
Well, if he's watching today, he wouldn't have done himself any harm, that's for sure. He's been very alive, very alert. Almost the first whistle in this match.
I did ask Kevin Campbell earlier in the season whether he had ambitions about getting back with England. He was very, very modest and talked about Francis Jeffers as the real England candidate amongst the Everton strikers. Cunningham. Trying to let it run. Again, the way it's gone for Wimbledon today. Hutchison, one of 4 forward for Everton here. Using Campbell as the decoy in the end. Pembridge. Well, it is time maybe for one or two little party tricks.
Well, you can do that in the final third. There's nothing wrong with trying little tricks like that in the final third to get a ball in behind the back four. He wasn't very far away from achieving it, Glenn Hutchison.
And maybe on the back of that, he is now the subject of our player cam for the last 15 minutes of the game for Sky Digital viewers. Damien Francis replaces Malik Badir. The homegrown Wimbledon players, of course, they are very successful in that respect. They have to be. The biggest draws of attendances in the Premiership, as you can see from some of the gaps around Selhurst Park today. remain, whatever this result turns out to be, a real phenomenon in our football over the last 20 years or so. Come from nowhere into this level. Well, not from nowhere, because I'm a great fan of the non-league. That mustn't upset my friends at that level of the game. You know what I'm saying. Hutchison. Cadamarteri. Ross decided to join in further forward again. Hutchison. Watch it done. Pushing Kimball back. Well, Sanhamam can not bear to look. Painful viewing for all those lovers of Wimbledon. Campbell!
You just think that it's there for him, isn't it? The way he's played, he's performed. You just think it might just be there. He might just finish the day on a real high. Wouldn't have surprised anyone, I don't think, who's watched this game if that had nestled in the top corner. But he's got 12 or 13 minutes left.
Defeat here, and it's looking very ominous for Wimbledon. Will take them back into that very anxious area, the lower reaches of the Premiership.
28 points is trouble, Martin, you know, that's a certainty. Only 4 away from the drop zone, as it's called.
In many ways it's a bigger difference than 31 than the 3 points suggest. 31 would have been quite comfortable. Wimbledon would have felt if they'd have won this game. And here they are looking at Kevin Campbell's offside. There's a couple of times he's got it in when it hasn't counted to go with the 2 that have counted.
Again, just went a little early for me. I think he's looking along the line now. It's just this near side. Is Kimball playing him on? I think it's touch and go. Certainly went in behind the 2 centre-backs, but goodness me, that is another one that could easily have been allowed.
Coming back to life again. Hutchison. This must be very satisfying for Walter Smith. Change that he had to make. That's a loss of Barnby. Plumping for Cadamarteri, that's worked out well. He didn't have to leave out Francis Jeffers to rest him, but he's done that. And pairing of Joe Maxwell with Campbell have really been sharp as tacks, the 2 of them. It's misjudged by Dunn. Andresen, caught! Corner.
He didn't know a great deal about it, Richard Dunn. He gets a pat in the head from his goalkeeper. No danger, just turned his back on it a little. But struck him with it.
You can be sure that Thomas Muir wants his clean sheet in this game. His return to the Premiership, still 10 minutes away from that. Wimbledon putting plenty of bodies in at the corner. The marking wasn't great. Anderson got to it unattended.
Yeah, it's poor the marking. Doesn't really do an awful lot. No one gets near him. Kevin Campbell actually goes to sleep a little. Probably thinks what's happening at the other end.
Did you like going back to defend at corners?
I had no option, son. I was sent back every corner.
Cadamarteri. Picked off there by Anderson, who's on the move forward again. This is Ardley. Wasn't the most brutal foul of the afternoon. It's from remember what we said earlier about Hutchison needing to avoid a yellow card today to play in the FA Cup quarter-final.
I just wonder if they're aware of that on the bench, the coaching staff, the manager. You'd think at 3-0, Mark, this is an occasion with 10 minutes to go where they could maybe say to the skipper, come on then, important games coming up, one very important one we don't want you to miss.
Hey, they also know what happened to Sheffield Wednesday yesterday. Unsworth, Moore. Back to David Unsworth. Awkward for Trond Anderson. A stray arm there by Marcus Gale. Richard Gough wasn't complaining, he's had lots of those down the years. Weir. Here's Cunningham. Was a purple patch of goal scoring for Everton, 3 in under 11 minutes. Gale. Cunningham's cross. Bounced off target by Martin Andresen. Remind you of the telephone number 09009 112233. Let us know your vote for the man of the match today. Very much Everton's match.
Yeah, some pretty impressive performances in yellow shirts today.
Hardly. Solid cry of keeper from Thomas Muir. Well, you can't really fault the man there, can you? From 1 to 11, as we used to say.
Absolutely not. I don't think they've had a failure on their side. Everyone has played their part. Doesn't often happen at this level. Usually at 1 or 2 who maybe let you down or don't perform that well. But I can't think of an Everton player, as I look around the pitch, Mark, that hasn't contributed in some way to the state of affairs. There you go.
Now we are.
He reads our minds, the manager.
Don Hutchison, not booked today. Goes off, not to the dressing room. Maybe he wants to act as cheerleader for the time that remains, which is, as you can see, 6 minutes or so. Phil Kenwright with that broad grin, summing up Everton's mood. Abel Xavier comes into the midfield, and for Sky Digital viewers, the player cam now switches in that midfield to Mark Pembridge. Xavier's missed a fair bit of football recently through a virus. Kadamatri. Change of pace, lost Ewell. He's beaten Kimball, but he can't get past Haridason, not for the want of trying.
I think that's a free kick. I know defenders get away with it time and time again. And you know what they're doing, they're letting the ball run out, but we never look at this again. I just think as it's going out, that's the first one, and watch again. It's got to be a free kick. I mean, he protects it there, but just... Oh.
Ball. Here's Ardley. That's weird, Dunn trying to get back, and he's done enough to force Neil Ardley to cross it behind. special programme coming up for you on Monday night, a review of the season so far with Richard and Andy. 8 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. A lot of wisdom and a fair amount of wit, I would say.
Not in that programme, I won't.
More. And Wimbledon. Another moment that encapsulated what a bad day this has been for all and sundry for Wimbledon.
Well, the pitch doesn't help. We've talked about it right at the top of the show, and it must be bad for goalkeepers. This is again another pitch that any ball rolled back centrally to them. It's got every chance of doing what it did to Neil Sullivan there and just sitting up.
It is the devil he knows.
Yes, it is. You'd think 2 touches would come to mind.
Yes. When you look at the records, Everton have had some good days against Wimbledon. They were the first team to send Wimbledon to a home defeat when they came into the top division back in the mid-80s. Goals from a couple of pals of yours, Andy, Graham Sharp and Kevin Sheedy.
Yeah. I know them well.
Also, when Wimbledon won the cup, holders, they defended it the following season. Who did they get knocked out by? Everton in the quarter-finals.
It's been a pretty good season so far for playing them. 4-0 at Goodison, 3-0 up here.
We play you every week, that's what the fans usually chant. Haven't heard that today. And again, Walter Smith getting a triumph and disaster with the same firm expression, not getting carried away. Have you ever seen him in extremes of anger?
Yes. I'm quite happy at times. Found a fiver once on the street. He was absolutely ecstatic.
Only a Scot could say that about a Scot. Andresen. And Ardley. And Ewell looking for a birthday goal. Gale.
Good defending though, even at 3-0 up. A couple of minutes left, there were still plenty of yellow shirts prepared to get in the way of Jason Ewell as he was striking that.
Ardley's cross. Trying to get to it, the wind gusting the ball away from the Wimbledon man. And Graham Barber pointing in Everton's favour. Everton determined to deny Wimbledon right to the last. Ewell letting fly, and the ball didn't travel very far, did it? He's lost out to Andresen. This is Francis. Still a chance for Wimbledon to get the cross in. What a good touch that was by David Weir.
Well, that's the hardest kind of ball for a defender to deal with. He must be no more than 4 yards from his own goal. It's between him and his goalkeeper. Lovely defending. Nicely done.
Kimball's cross. On from Xavier. Henbridge cutely into the feet of Abel Xavier. There will be 2 extra minutes. And Wimbledon will just want to get this over with and get it out of their systems. But at times, Everton have turned this into an exhibition. Wimbledon came into the game hoping they had learned from their experience at Goodison Park, a painful experience then, but it's been just Just as painful today. The only difference really is the scoreline's not quite so emphatic, but very nearly so.
Could easily have been though, couldn't it?
Yeah. Xavier. Done, happy to keep it close, and Goff. Backline have done well in the formative stages of the game. Worked hard in midfield, and when the chances came in the second half, the front men have taken them in some style.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a contest today in any sense of the word, Martin, but what we have seen is a pretty impressive performance from Everton away from home. All the wonder that their record away from home is so poor when you watch what they've produced today.
That 7-day break in Gran Canaria hasn't worked wonders for Wimbledon.
No doubt that will get a mention in the dressing room in the next couple of days.
Especially from those who've had to pay the bills. Xavier. Cadamartri. In front of the Everton fans again, beneath us. Everton complete the double over the Dons for the first time in the Premiership, emphatically. Kevin Campbell, who did so well at Goodison Park in the reverse fixture in August, has scored 2 goals in quick succession here and set up the third for Joe Max Moore. And real worries for Wimbledon. Yesterday's results did not help them. Chelsea away, Manchester United here, their next 2 games. But great credit to Everton. They concentrated on the present and not the excitement of the future of their involvement in the last 8 of the FA Cup in a couple of weeks' time. They had a real sense of purpose today. Played well in the first half and took Wimbledon apart in the second. Final score, Wimbledon 0, Everton 3.
Well, on the evidence of that, Wimbledon have more than just a few problems. Beaten at home by 3 goals to 0. Everton's biggest away win in the Premiership ever, not just this season. Man of the match, Campbell. Equals, I should say, their biggest ever away win. Campbell has walked that, 63% of the vote. Danny Cadamartri in second place, not surprisingly either. And here they both are with George Gavin.
You two guys certainly played very well. Kevin, what was the importance of that win for you?
It was very important, I think, with the results yesterday. You know, we're starting to look over our shoulder a bit. Teams were starting to catch us up, winning underneath us. So it's very important we picked up 3 points there and, you know, get playing well.
Danny, a long time since you've started a Premiership game for Everton. How determined were you to do well?
As determined as I could be, you know. It's an important time for me. A couple of suspensions and injuries, you know, have given me the chance to get in there and try and give the manager a bit of a team selection problem. And all I can do is try and get in there and do the best I can and push everybody else.
Do you want to stay and do well? There was a time when you could have been away.
No, there's never been a time that I've wanted to get away at all. You know, people were saying when I went to Fulham that it was a possibility of a move and to rebuild my career, but it was really just to get me some match fitness really and try and get some sharpness under my belt to come back and hopefully push for a place.
Kevin, is there a chance of an England call, do you think? 12 Premiership goals now?
I don't know, I'm not really that worried about England at the moment. There's a lot of good strikers there and I'm way down the pecking order at the moment. So as long as I keep playing well for Everton, you never know, but I'm not counting my chickens.
Danny, the league position looks healthy now, but is the FA Cup the big target now?
I think both are just as equally as important, you know, 2 entrances to Europe. I think, you know, with a good win like that against, you know, the teams that are going to push you hard, we've got to aim to get up the table and hopefully push for a place in the European spots. But the Cup's a good chance for us as well, you know, and if we can go for both, then we can go for both. We'll just have to see what happens.
Did you enjoy picking Kevin out for the crosses?
Yeah, it's great to play with, you know, the likes of Kevin. You know, he's always on hand to score a few goals, and you know you're going to get a couple of goals from him. And it's just important for the team really to get around him and to help him out.
Well, Kevin's just pipped you for the calling man of the match. If you can give that to him, but well played both of you. Congratulations.
Lovely one.
Got to give it to Danny, I think. I think he deserves it. He played really well. There you go, Dan.
Very generous of you. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
What was the most satisfying thing about winning 3 points today for you?
Well, I think it was important for us. We've had a lot of draws and a lot of our matches, and we had to get back to trying to get a win. And we knew it would be a difficult match the way Wimbledon play, and I felt pleased with the way we handled the game. We handled it very well in the early parts, restricted Wimbledon to a few opportunities during the match, and I felt played very well over the piece.
Not many teams do the double over Wimbledon and score so many goals against them over the season. Have you found the secret?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think we can say that. You have to work very hard. I felt our defenders played very well against the longer ball. We managed to pick up most of the ball that was knocked down, and in the first half maybe we're a bit unfortunate maybe not to have one goal at least. Second half, once we got it and we settled down and played a bit, we were pleased with the result there.
With results yesterday, did you feel you had to win today?
I feel that we have to win every time we go out and play. I mean, I think that's the thing. There's a group of teams around the middle of the league that if you get a win, it can take you up. If you lose, then you drop right down. So it's important for all the teams in that area to try and keep winning, and obviously we're pleased to do so at a very difficult ground.
33. Have you got a target now that you want to reach for safety?
I don't think any team can pick that out. I think you've just got to concentrate and try and win. If we hadn't won today, the gap between ourselves and the teams just at the bottom of the league or just around the fringe of the relegation was only a couple of matches. So we had to make sure that we tried to keep a big gap, and we've managed to do that.
Can you feel safe in the league now and then go full tilt for the FA Cup?
I don't think anybody can say that you feel safe. I think, as I said, when you're in the group of teams that we're in at the present moment, it's always difficult to achieve a result, and you've always got to work very hard and do well to get one. So you can go long runs where you don't get a victory. We've had a couple of wins, quite a few games, but mainly draws. So it was good to get back on a winning trail tonight.
Bill Kenwright told us before the game there wasn't much in the way of money in the coffers. How important is a cup run for you?
Well, the cup run I think is important for the club overall. I think they can gain a great deal of confidence from the cup. But Aston Villa are coming on to a good run just now. But for us, that's a couple of weeks away. We have a really important game against Derby next week at Goodison. So, we hope we can add to today's result, which, if you do manage to win one or two games in a row, then it makes a difference. But as I say, all the teams that are there are all capable of beating the other, so you have to turn in good performances each time you play.
No question marks over Kevin Campbell, but maybe there has been over Danny Cadamarteri. Has he come and grabbed his chance today, Walter?
Well, Danny, we have a number of young players who are having to learn their trade playing in the Premier Division. Richard Dunn, Michael Ball, Franny Jeffers and young Danny. And they'll all have their ups and downs over the period till they gain the necessary experience. And Danny's a little bit like that, isn't a little bit hot and cold. I mean, even in the game today, always liable to do something, but always liable to be a little bit erratic. But he gives you everything that he's got in every game that he plays. So I was pleased for him today that he managed to contribute to the goals. I think he deserved that for the work he put in. And
you felt it was time to give Francis Jeffers a rest, but Joe Max Moore certainly took his chance, didn't he?
Yeah, he did do. Joe's a good player, and we're hoping that he can take a little bit of weight off Francis. I mean, they are young players. He's only just turned 19 a few weeks ago, Francis, and you're asking him to learn to play and keep a consistent level in a very difficult league, and it's hard that. And I just feel that taking him out of the team every now and again will bring the freshness back to him, and hopefully Joe can supply us with a good level, which he did today.
Walter, thanks very much.
Is anyone here prepared to say just what they mean, or is it too late for anyone here to try to do just what it takes to get through to you? So let's all make believe that we're still friends and we like each other.